these 4 haploid megaspore will form. These tetrad get arranged at a row manner. Upper 3 become disorganized or degenerate and lowermost become functional. This functional megaspore divides by 3 mitotically. Here 3 time mitosis can taken. 3 mitotically it will divide to form 8 nuclei. 3 mitotically it will divide to form 8 nuclei. During first mitosis, functional megaspore divides to form 2 daughter cell. Then these 2 daughter cell again divide second mitotically to form 4 daughter cells, and these 4 daughter cells again divide mitotically to form 8 daughter cells. About these 8 cells, 4 are migrated towards the chalazal end, 4 are migrated towards the micropylar end. Okay, then at each pole, one cell migrate towards the center, it get fused. At each pole, one cell migrate towards the center, it get fused. That is called as secondary nucleus, which is diploid. 3 cells remain present behind the micropylar end. It will form egg apparatus. Egg apparatus consists of 2 types of cell. Middle larger cell are called as egg cell, and lateral 2 cells are called as synercid cells. That is the egg apparatus. 3 cells remain present behind the chalazal end of embryo sac. It will form antipodal cells. The structure having egg apparatus, secondary nucleus and antipodal cells, that is called as fully developed female gametophyte or fully developed embryo sac in angiosperm. This development can taken by the diploid megaspore mother cells. Diploid megaspore mother cells undergoes meiotic division to form haploid megaspore during the process that is called as megasporogenesis. Here 4 tetrads will form. These tetrads get arranged at a row manner. 3 become disorganized, lowermost become functional. Then functional megaspore divides by 3 mitotically, or 3 time mitosis can taken to form 8 nuclei. About these 8 nuclei, 4 are migrated towards the micropylar end, 4 are migrated towards the chalazal end. At each pole, one cell migrate towards the center, it get fused to form secondary nucleus. 3 cells remain situated behind the chalazal end to form antipodal cells. 3 cells remain present behind the micropylar end. It will form egg apparatus. Egg apparatus consists of 2 types of cells. Middle larger cell are called as egg cell, and lateral 2 cells are called as synercid cells. The structure having egg apparatus, secondary nucleus and antipodal cells, that is called as fully developed female gametophyte in angiosperm. Pollination means transfer of pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma are commonly called as pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the respective stigma, that is called as pollination. There are 2 main types of pollination. First one is self-pollination and second one is cross-pollination. Self-pollination means transfer of pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma of same flower or neighboring flower located on single plant body are commonly called as self-pollination. They are of two types. First one is autogamy and second one is zetnogamy. First one is autogamy, second one is zetnogamy. Autogamy means transfer of pollen grains from anther to the respective stigma of single flower located on single plant body are commonly called as autogamy. Here, example for this autogamy, that is groundnut. Groundnut contain clistogamous flower. Clistogamous flower means those flower they do not open at maturity condition, that is called as clistogamous flower. This clistogamous flower self-pollination is obligatory, that is autogamy is obligatory or compulsory, means transfer of pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma of same flower located on single plant body are commonly called as autogamous pollination, and the phenomenon is known as autogamy. Example for this autogamy, that is groundnut. Second one is zetnogamy. Zetnogamy means transfer of pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma of two different flowers located on single plant body. Flowers become different, but plant body becomes single. This type of pollination are commonly called as zetnogamy. Okay. Then second type of pollination are called as cross pollination, means transfer of pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma of two different flowers located on two different plant bodies on same species or different species, that is called as cross pollination. Cross means flower become different, plant bodies become different, but species become same or different. This kind of pollination are commonly called as cross pollination. They are of two types. First one is xenogamy and second one is hybridization. Xenogamy and hybridization, there are two types of cross pollination. Xenogamy means to transfer pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma of two different flowers located on two different plant bodies on same species are commonly called as xenogamy. Hybridization, transfer of pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma of two different flowers located on two different plant bodies on two different species, that is called as hybridization. In xenogamy, species become same. In hybridization, species become different. That is the difference between xenogamy and hybridization. There are two main types of pollination, that is called as self as well as cross pollination. Okay. Then agencies for pollination. There are two main agencies. First one is abiotic and second one is biotic. Abiotic, it is called as non-living things or physical factor. Biotic means living things. Abiotic pollinating agent means those non-living things or physical factor, they are responsible to transport the pollen grain from anther to respective stigma are commonly called as abiotic pollinating agent. Example like wind as well as water. Wind, water, that is the physical factor. those physical factors, they are responsible to transport the pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma, that is called as abiotic pollinating agent. Biotic means the living things or the different kinds of living organisms, they are responsible to transport the pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma, that is called as biotic pollinating agent. Example like insect, then bat, then snail, etc. or the number of living organism, they are responsible to transport the pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma, that is called as biotic pollinating agent. There are two types of pollinating agencies, abiotic as well as biotic pollinating agencies. On the basis of these biotic as well as abiotic pollinating agencies or the pollinating agencies, the pollination are of few types. First one is hydrophilous pollination, and the phenomenon is known as hydrophily. The pollinating agent, that is water, are required to transport pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma, that is called as hydrophilous pollination, and phenomenon is known as hydrophily. Second one is entomophily. The pollinating agent, that is insect, are required for completion of pollination phenomenon, that is called as entomophily, or the pollinating agent are insect become required for the completion of pollination phenomenon, that is to transport the pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma by the pollinating agent, that is insect, that is called as entomophily. Third one is anemophily. The pollinating agent, that is wind or air, are required to transport the pollen grain from anther to the respective stigma, that is called as anemophilous pollination, and the phenomenon is known as anemophily. Then ornithophily. Ornithophily means the pollinating agent, that is birds, are required for the completion of pollination phenomenon, that is called as ornithophilous pollination and the process is known as ornithophily. Another one is chiripterophily. Chiripterophily means the pollinating agent, that is bat, are required for the completion of pollination phenomenon, that is called as chiripterophilous pollination, and the phenomenon is known as chiripterophily. There are few types of pollination on the basis of the pollinating agent. Which type of pollinating agent are required for the completion of pollination phenomenon, like water, insect, wind, birds as well as bats. Okay. Then I will told the merits as well as demerits of cross pollination as well as self pollination. The merits of self pollination, that is merits of self pollination, that is it is a sure method of pollination, pure line varieties can obtain, no wastage of energy, no wastage of pollen grain, that is the advantages or merits of self pollination. Disadvantages, disease resistance capacity become less, tolerance ability become less, yield become less in those type of pollination, that is self-pollination. That is the demerits of self-pollination. First one is pure, first demerits of self-pollination, that is disease resistance capacity of new plantlets become less. Tolerance ability become less. Yield is also less during these self-pollinated varieties. That is the demerits. Merits of cross-pollination. In cross-pollinated varieties, yield become more. Disease resistance capacity become more, as well as the tolerance ability become more, yield become obtained in more amount. That is the advantages or merits of cross-pollination. Disadvantages of this cross-pollination, that is pure line varieties not obtained. Genetically those varieties is not pure. Okay, that is the demerits of cross-pollination. That is the pollination, types of pollination, agencies of pollination, as well as advantages and disadvantages of pollination. And then reproduction in plants containing last article, that is called as double fertilization. Fertilization means fusion of haploid male gametes into haploid female gametes to produce diploid zygote are commonly called as fertilization. Haploid male gametes unite with haploid female gametes to produce diploid zygote are commonly called as fertilization. Double fertilization means both gametes are utilized. One male gamete unite with female gamete to produce diploid zygote, and another male gamete fuse with secondary nucleus to produce triploid primary endosperm nucleus. That is called as double fertilization. Here both gametes are utilized. One male gamete fuse with egg to produce diploid zygote, other male gamete fuse with secondary nucleus to produce triploid primary endosperm nucleus. That is called as double fertilization. Okay. Process of this double fertilization involves following steps. First one is progamy. Second one is sphanogamy. Third one is syngamy. And fourth one is triple fusion. Progamy, sphanogamy, syngamy and triple fusion, there are the 4 steps of process of double fertilization in angiosperm. If you are seen in diagrammatic ways, that is embryo sac. Okay. Embryo sac consists of 3 main parts: egg apparatus, secondary nucleus, that is egg apparatus, it is secondary nucleus, that is antipodal cells. That is the typical structure of ovule containing embryo sac. Okay. Process of double fertilization can take place by these 4 steps. First one is progamy, means entry of pollen tube. Pollen tube, it is a part of male gametophyte. These pollen tubes should be entered inside the ovule through the micropyle that is called as progamy. After entry of this pollen tube inside the micropyle, they will absorb the synergid cell containing material and they will enter inside the embryo sac. Then tip portion of this pollen tube become ruptured. Then pollen tube containing two non-motile male gametes will liberate up to the female gametes. That is momentum of non-motile male gametes up to female gametes. This process are commonly called as sphenogamy. Entry of pollen tube through the micropyle, that is called as progamy. Sphenogamy means pollen tube containing two non-motile male gametes get liberate up to the female gametes, that is called as sphenogamy. Then syngamy, one male gamete fuse with egg to produce diploid zygote. One male gamete fuse with egg to produce diploid zygote. That is called as first fertilization, and the phenomenon is known as syngamy. One male gamete fuse with egg to produce diploid zygote. This phenomenon is commonly called as syngamy or first fertilization. Okay. Then second male gamete fuse with secondary nucleus to produce triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Another male gamete, that is second male gamete fuse with secondary nucleus to produce triploid primary endosperm nucleus, that is called as triple fusion, and the phenomenon is known as second fertilization. That is the process of double fertilization in angiosperm. Okay. Then I will talk the last article during this topic, that is post fertilization changes in angiosperm. Post fertilization changes, that is formation of seed and formation of fruit. After fertilization or after completion of fertilization phenomenon, the zygote which is diploid and triploid primary endosperm nucleus will form. That is TPN, that is zygote. Okay. After fertilization, these total ovule get converts into seed and total ovary get converts into fruits. Total ovule get converts into seed after fertilization. Okay. At the end of double fertilization process, here diploid zygote will form. These diploid zygote get divides and redivides during the process, that is mitosis. Diploid zygote get divides and redivides during the process, that is called as mitosis to form embryo. Zygote get divides and redivides to form embryo. Embryo, it is a part of seed. This TPN divides and redivides during the process, that is mitosis to form endosperm. Endosperm and embryo, that is the part of seed. Okay, if you are seen in a typical structure, after fertilization process or post fertilization changes, the total ovule get converts into seed, total ovary get converts into fruit. Okay. At the end of this double fertilization, zygote and triploid primary endosperm nucleus will form. This zygote get divides and redivides during the process of mitosis to form embryo. TPN divides and redivides during the process of mitosis to form endosperm. Embryo and endosperm, it is a part of seed. Okay. Then embryo and endosperm, that is the part of seed. Seed, it is a fertilized ovule, are commonly called as seed. Zygote divides and redivides to form embryo. TPN divides and redivides to form endosperm. Okay. If endosperm become present at the maturity condition of seed, that is called as endospermic seed, or it is also called as albuminous seed. If endosperm are absent at the maturity condition of seed, that is called as non-endospermic seed or X-albuminous seed. That is the formation of seed. Formation of seed includes following steps, that is formation of embryo as well as formation of endosperm. During seed germination, these embryo become dormant and it will emerge. Emerging of these seedlings can taken, or it will form by the seedlings during seed germination. If you are seen in a typical structure of embryo, it consists of cotyledons. Embryo consists of cotyledons as well as radicle and plumule. Radicle, cotyledons and plumules, that is the part of embryo. During seed germination, they become dormant and it will develops the new seedling, that is the formation of seed. Formation of fruit means total ovary. Ovary, it is a part of carpel. These ovary get metamorphosed or get ripen, and finally total ovary get converts into fruit. Here completed the reproduction in plants.